Kia ora everyone, it's me, Ella, and Cedric. We are here to talk more Super Rugby Pacific. Shock, horror. So Cedric, do you want to run through everything that happened in round 7?
Yep, so just quickly our round 7 results. We had the Blues versus the Force. The Blues ran out big winners in this one, 50-3. And then we had the Rebels versus the Fijian Drua. Rebels ended up winning that one 41-20. Then we had the Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica. The Chiefs won that 68-12. Brumbies were too good for the Waratahs, winning 40-16. And my picks, I got 3 out of 4. I did have the Drua beating the Rebels, but that didn't happen. What were your picks for that week,
Oh my
Ella?
gosh, I don't think I did very well at all, but we'll just avoid it. But can we quickly circle back to the Ndrua Rebels game? What do you think happened? We've obviously got, for people who didn't see, 2 brain explosions in terms of red cards from the Fijian Drua players, including Frank Lamani, who's an international test player. He went with the old, 12-6 elbow down on the
Yeah.
back of a player's head. Horrific. And also they were up by like 26 points. What do you reckon? What do you reckon happened? Because I was shocked when I, checked the results after them being 26 up. It was mind-boggling.
I think he must have just gotten real frustrated that whole game. I think just around the ruck, they just kept annoying him, and then you get to a certain point where it kind of boils over, and it's kind of frustrating. That was one of the worst like things I've
Oh,
seen in the game. That was really bad, and yeah, I think the send off wasn't he right. He got red carded, but yeah, that was pretty bad. How did you feel about that?
yeah, I was like, yeah, you could sense that obviously emotions had really boiled over. You don't really see, I guess, over the last 5 years, there's been this almost trend. You don't see so much of the foul play with red cards. You're more seeing it for recklessness and obviously high tackles and dangerous play, but maybe it's accidental. So to see such a flagrant display was
Yeah,
quite upsetting, but also I just want to counteract that with, we saw that there was some horrible alleged racist abuse towards Frank Lomani. No matter that sort of outrageous thing that's happened on the field does not excuse that sort of racism being directed at someone. That was really disappointing to see. And so, he obviously would be feeling distressed and embarrassed probably once he had cooled down. And then to be subject to that, where he should be safe in his workplace, was really disappointing, I thought.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, just going off of that. Yeah, obviously um there's no room for that in our game. And what happened with the whole NRL thing, we saw how big that kind of exploded with the Roosters and Broncos, and then for this to happen not too long after, yeah, there's no space. And I hope that fan, I said in my video, I hope that fan doesn't return back to the stadium. So yeah, that's how I feel.
yeah, totally. Okay, so on that note, we'll leave that in the past. We'll await a judiciary outcome. I did see that this was actually, sorry, I'm not done. I saw Northern Hemisphere people on Twitter being like, well, this is why we shouldn't have 20-minute red cards. I don't think they understand that, yes, there's a 20-minute red card where something is escalated to the bunker, it's reviewed, and then it's 20 minutes, and that player stays off, but someone else can come on, so it's still 15 on 15. But for egregious acts of dangerous foul play, like what we saw on the weekend, the full red still stands. And so Lomani was off for the entire game. It was 14 for the entire game remaining. So just to put that out there, people, a 20-minute red card wasn't even on the table for Frank Lomani. That was the situation. All right, so round 8. We're getting towards the business end of the competition slowly but surely. It's another bye round, so only 4 games to talk about this weekend. Starting off with Moana Pacifica versus the Reds. Now, we're talking about wheels falling off. They've really fallen off for Moana Pacifica, unfortunately, and it's been really hard to watch. Do you think that they can turn it around in time for this game against, a pretty hot Reds team, albeit they are coming off, a loss to the Brumbies that was quite significant?
Yeah, that Chiefs loss was really tough, and I said it before in a previous video. Them having to face the Blues, then the Chiefs was bad enough. Now they have to go and restore it. Yeah, I just can't see them making a comeback. I think it's been a bit too much. They do have a very inexperienced team, and yeah, the Reds have been in a bit of a slump. Obviously, that loss against the Force was a bit shocking, I think, to all of us. But yeah, I think the Reds still have a very classy team. The likes of Fraser McWright, Harry Wilson. Then we got guys like Josh Fluke, Jordan Pataya, Hunter Paisami, who have been playing very well. I do have the Reds winning by 10. But from what we've seen from Moana, it could be a bit more. How do you think the game's going to be?
Yeah, I had Reds by 11. And again, I think it's that thing. I want Moana Pacifica to be strong. I want them to be competitive. You know, there was a lot of talk with Tana coming in as their coach this season that it was going to be a bit of a turnaround. And I sense that strong start of the season, but just it is long. And so it's easy to kind of maybe fall into these slumps based on the ebbs and flows of who you're facing, when and where. So yeah, while I would love Moana Pacifica to be a bit more competitive, I'm seeing that the Reds, it's going to be red all day, baby, 11 points. The matchup that's coming next is the Waratahs versus the Crusaders. Now, you'll remember the Waratahs bet the Crusaders. That's actually their only victory so far this
Yeah,
season.
yeah, I checked as well.
Wild against a team that, you know, has been laboring at the bottom of the table and in their worst form ever. And so for that reason, I've said the Crusaders are winning by 7. It's redemption, and they are passing the wooden spoon to the Waratahs. What do you reckon's happening?
That's pretty much what I've written down. Not only have they only won one game against the Crusaders, the Waratahs are on a 4-game losing streak.
It hurts.
And their loss against the Brumbies was pretty bad. So they have a good team on paper. You know, young guys like Jorgensen, Wangani Tawaze, Shane Edmund. Like, this is a good team. But like you, I think the Crusaders are gonna start to roll a little
Mhm.
bit. I do have them winning by 5, and yeah, like you said, they're gonna definitely pass that wooden spoon over to the Waratahs. So yeah,
They're saying,
Crusaders
here,
by
you
5.
can have this. We're done with it now. Yeah, never
Yeah,
trust. We've said it for a bit. Never trust that the Crusaders are down and out. I don't think they are. And this may be the start. They're coming back from the bye. We're filming this before the team lists have been released, but I'll be interested to see who's kind of coming back. Where's Ethan Blackadder? Is Braden Ennor coming back? You know, there's a couple of names. Cody Taylor, where's he? You know, that could really boost their ranks. So onwards and upwards for the Crusaders, I think, and they might be laughing at us come the end of this competition. The game of the round, I think. This is a spicy,
definitely. Yeah.
spicy competition. We've got the Canes and the Chiefs. Cedric, I don't know if I could. Well, I've made a call. I've said Canes by 5. But are you? Who are you backing?
Oh, Hurricanes vs Chiefs, definitely um, the game of the round. And I think if there's one team that can beat the Hurricanes, it is definitely the Chiefs. No Cam Roigard. I think, like we've said before, he has been one of the more influential players. Definitely the Hurricanes' most influential player, but not a bad reserve coming on. I mean, TJ Perenara, that's, if anything, he's probably the best for their halfback in this whole comp. I think both teams have talent up front and in the backs. I think the battle I'm looking forward to the most is the battle of the loose forwards. Guys like Samapini Shinao, Devin Flanders, Luke Jacobson, Duplessis Karifi, all these guys have been playing really well. And I do have the Chiefs winning by 5. How are you feeling?
Yeah, well, I've said the reverse. I've said Canes by 5. I just feel like the Canes train is all go this season. And they're unbeaten so far, the only unbeaten team in the competition, and I just want to see it continue. I'm enjoying it, despite the fact that they absolutely massacred my beloved Highlanders the other week. That was painful. I do think you're right that TJ Perenara, his influence is going to be so important now that Cam Roigard is out. I wonder what you think. The Hurricanes' loose forwards have obviously been super, super impressive this season. Is there room for all of them in the All Blacks this season? What do you reckon?
I think because Karifi has been named before briefly,
Yeah.
but he didn't really he didn't get a chance to play at all. Flanders has been very good. I think someone who's been playing well, but a bit under the radar has been Braden Yose.
Mm.
He's super powerful, big, strong, run off the ball, defense. He's really good. But out of those 3, for the Hurricanes, these forwards, Devon, Duplessis, and Braden. I think Braden could potentially make it. Definitely like blockbusting number 8 that the All Blacks could potentially use. But I do feel like Duplessis has been in that, could be an All Black, but isn't round for a while. I think he was in the All Blacks 15. So I think out of the 3, it could be him. But yeah, you'll say he's, and Flanders come forget about him, but Yossi's been really good this season. Yeah.
Really, really good. And I suppose a lot of it depends on where Ardi Savia plays, where Sam Cane fits in. We still don't have confirmation, by the way, everyone, of whether Sam Cane has injured his back or not. We had those reports like 3 weeks ago that were kind of being like, well, he's out for 10 weeks, and we obviously haven't seen him play in Japan, but he hasn't surfaced. He's incognito. So who knows where Sam Cane fits in? There's still obviously Dalton who's lurking around. No, it's going to be very interesting in the loose forwards, actually. Very interesting. On that note, we've got not the game of the round, but my game of the round in my heart. The Rebels versus the Landers. Now, I think the Rebels are shocking. A lot of people this season. They should be down and out because financially that is exactly where they are. But alas, they're sitting at 5th on the table, ahead of a lot of people's teams, including mine, because the Highlanders are in 8th.
Yeah.
So, I'm a fan. I've got to back them through thick and thin. The Highlanders are going to come out on top by 4 points. This is the beginning of their Aussie road trip. They're going against the Rebels. They're going against the Reds. They're going against the Force. And then Moana Pacifica. They're going to win all 4 of those. All 4. And you can come talk to me after those 4 games and see how the Landers are looking. How are you feeling about this one?
Okay, so the Rebels are, like you said, a lot of us didn't expect to do too well. And they're coming off 2 very great wins against the Waratahs and the Drua. A big win against the Drua, might I add. But the Landers have lost their last 3. And we are not forgetting about that loss they took against the Hurricanes. That was it. Oh, that was a shock, I'm not going to lie. I think the battle at 9 and 10 will be very good. I think at 10, Carter Gordon versus Reece Petrel, sorry. I'm still a big fan of Reece. He did have a bit of a shock against the Canes, put that aside. And I do have the Landers winning by 5. I think they can get it done. But I'm not as strong as I should be. But yeah, Landers by 5.
Maybe this will be the performance that turns you into a Highlanders fan. They're going to dunce the Rebels, and Cedric's going to be on the blue and gold train well and truly. That's what I think is going to happen. And I am definitely a clairvoyant. So that wraps up, I guess, Super Rugby round 8. 4 games, not too much to talk about, but you know what we do need to talk about, and it's probably going to be the highlight of the weekend. It is the Super Rugby O-Picky final. The Battle of the Bombays. The Manawa driving up the expressway. They're coming to Eden Park to take on the Blues. Now, Cedric and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. It is all on. The Manawa, the season favourites, they were finalists last year, won everything except for the final. They lost to Matatu. This time, will history repeat itself? Who do you reckon we need to look out for, Cedric? Who's going to be a big player in this game?
I think for Manawa, I haven't kept up too much as I should be, but what I've been seeing a lot was Ruby Tui. She has been killing it. I think her Sevens experience has definitely helped her a lot. I think Renee Holmes has been playing really well. And shout out to Reese Anderson. She's a little pocket rocket. I've seen her play throughout, like coming through high school and up until now. But she's a great player. I hope she does well. But for the Blues, you can't look past Caitlin Vahakoloi. Just what she's been doing this year and what she's done last year. Those long range tries she's been scoring. She's been on a roll. Definitely, the way she keeps going, she's not only going to be one of the best young wingers in the world, best wingers, let alone best players in the world. That's how I see her. And she's definitely an exciting young figure for rugby, for women's rugby and rugby in general. So that's how I feel. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game, and all of the players you mentioned have been superstars. Caitlin, I was saying to you earlier, what an absolutely amazing person to be the face of your game. She is willing to put herself out there. She's a star on social media. If you don't follow her already, she is so funny, and she just gets it. But she also is so serious about her rugby, and she is coming on in absolute strides. She is a hugely prolific player in the game after not that long in the game itself, especially professionally. She was playing league. She was in the Kiwi Ferns literally last year and playing in the NRLW with the Knights. So she's had a very quick transition, and she is such a talent. So the tickets for the game on the weekend at Eden Park, Saturday, 4:05, is $10 for an adult. what are you doing if you're not going and seeing this world-class talent? And there's a bunch of it, like you said, Ruby Tui, she's obviously one of the figureheads of women's rugby. Renee Holmes, one of the best kickers in women's rugby. Like, there are some absolutely incredible names. Luca Connor for the Manawa, Ruahei Demont for the Blues. There's just absolute talent across the park. Maya Roos, oh my gosh, I could go forever. It's been an amazing season, and this is going to be an amazing, amazing final. The Blues have beat the Manawa like 2 weeks ago in a bit of a shock. They played some incredible rugby. They sort of switched it up. They've always been a razzle-dazzle team, but they said, we're going to come strong and direct at you, and it was really, really effective. The Manawa have lost 2 on the bounce going into this final after being unbeaten for the rest of the season. So it's going to be tense. If you're not going, please go. And if you can't make it to Eden Park, it's streaming on TikTok for free through the Sky Sports TikTok. You can register on their TikTok for the event and watch it live from there. I believe there's going to be like giveaways happening during the game and like live commentary and a whole thing. It's meant to be a whole new viewing experience, and I'm really excited to see what it's like. So Super Rugby O Picky, let's go. Let's go.